solution. That helps in performing the cost-benefit analysis as well. If you need to start reporting for federal and state compliance, you have two options. Adopt the traditional manual route of getting a few employees or contractors help collate the data from various spend applications, Excel sheets or emails, etc., and manually aggregate the information and put together a report based on their best efforts. Or you may automate the reporting and analysis by building a technical solution. We all know how painful the manual process can be. Manual method of reporting is quite laborious because it involves gathering, screening, validating of several thousands of records across various department systems for every state and federal government. It is prone to errors. Humans are prone to errors, especially when it comes to data. You may rely on your best to put together the report, but can you guarantee that? Well, that's a doubt. Moreover, they are neither scalable or flexible. Today, we have only a few states that are asking for these reports, and we see more and more states that will soon ask for the same. You cannot possibly add more people on this to get it done. It's just not scalable. Tomorrow, if the law changes a bit, how easily can you make the change to all that you have reported? Next to impossible, right? Next comes the expensive. Yeah, obviously, considering the number of resources required to be employed throughout the year over several years, along with the costs involved in filing adjustments, manual data validation, and so many things, the cost is quite humongous. Since it's prone to errors, it poses a huge risk as well if the data is not accurately reported. Litigation costs are themselves quite high to be ignored. Then the last, the people dependency. The entire manual process is so people dependent that you cannot plan for contingencies. People fall sick, they may go on vacations, they may quit jobs. Well, we cannot have control over all these, and that would jeopardize the entire compliance reporting. So automation is has all the advantages and is the easy pick over the manual method, as you see. So that's the check mark from us. So let's look at some other available options. Once we determine what we need to automate the system, knowing the downside of leaving the process in manual mode, we again come to a point where you need to decide between other options available in the market. Knowing the market is infested with so many technologies and products, it is often a challenge to determine what is best suited for your need. Usually you ask the product vendor for a demo or a proof of concept as applicable before you decide. Let us quickly look at the available options. Option 1, assuming the pharma company has a system to capture spend, like an ERP system or an SFA system, you can customize the existing application to develop the compliance reports. The advantage is that there is no need to purchase a new product or software. The cost is low and the development cycle is quite short. The disadvantages of such situation is that it does not apply if there are several spend capture systems. If there are several of them, you are looking at possibly integrating the data across these systems into a single application. This simply isn't feasible. Moreover, these systems are not meant for analytical needs. They do provide some bit of reporting, but they are not truly analytical applications. Now let's quickly move on to option 2. There are several product vendors in the market who claim to have the right solution for you. They have front-end applications that are built over either say a BPM or a business process management product, or standalone with some fancy looking screens and ability to generate reports. But what about the data integration aspect with the source systems? What about the flexibility and scalability? What about the analytical capabilities as in the previous option? You may end up doing long cycles of proof of concept to determine the best and yet not find a solution that does the trick. The advantages again in this case are that there is no need for development. It's a product, obviously. They have ready set business rules and readily available reports. Also, an out-of-the-box is relatively quick to deploy, because that is meant to deployment. The disadvantages are that you end up bearing a high upfront investment followed by cost of maintenance, upgrades of the software, and whatnot. Usually end up customizing for your needs, right? So because the product is out of the box, you definitely need to mend it for your changes. Development efforts to integrate with the source data themselves and the need for the MDM still exists. Moreover, you will find less analytical capabilities than you have desired. So let's move on to option 3 now. With so many vendors going for the latest and greatest in this particular SaaS, which is the service software as a service, or people also call it service in the cloud, or with many names. This option looks like the best bet for those who don't want to invest in buying or building, but simply outsource the reporting, providing the spend data to the vendor. The SaaS vendor's product will have the business rules built in it for each state law that you subscribe to and would generate the reports in the desired format. The advantage here is that there is no major capitalized cost. It's a subscription model. Basically, you pay low annual payments. Again, no development or maintenance required here because it's not a product that you have it in your house. And a very few resources are required to maintain the solution at your end. But there are quite a few disadvantages as well, though the advantages seem quite favorable. Well, there is no or very less analytical capability, again, because it's again a product, just that it's hosted. You do not have the data with you now, that the data you have sent it to the vendor, but you do not have stored it in your systems at all. Moreover, corrections to the data are not possible. Rather, they are a little difficult because, again, it's not in your system. You need to send some amendments. How do you do that? Vendor has no or limited liability, and hence you are responsible for the data or the reports that get generated. So you need to be on top of things. You need to validate the reports, and that thing is still on there. Quickly moving on to option 4. Try to look at this solution as any other data management, data integration, business intelligence project to build a homegrown hybrid aggregate spend solution. What I mean by saying this is aggregate spend solution is not too complex, or it is complex in a way, but you try to look at it from a data management perspective. It seems that you have done similar things in the past. It's not rocket science. That means expect ETL, expect data warehouse or a data mart, and expect a reporting tool in the mix. As for the advantage, it meets all your business and system requirements like data quality, MDM, reporting, or your analytical needs. It will be flexible, it will be scalable because you are the one who's designing it. Basically, you own the data and you own the code, right? Why pay others to generate your reports when you can do it on your own? There is one-time development investment, but then you can easily maintain that with a smaller team. Well, there are a few disadvantages. Of course, there is a moderate upfront cost in building the solution, and you need to keep updated with the changing laws. So depending on your organization's current investments, affiliations with the software vendors, you will need to determine the best option for your situation. Now let's move on to the system requirements. Once you understand the business requirements for the aggregate spend reporting and analysis, it is important to understand the system requirements that support the solution. Data centralization. Spend data is spread across various spend capture systems. Centralizing this data in a data store is an important step. Data completeness. Well, partial data is of less use, especially when you need to report aggregated data, right? Missing a data set could mean the difference between reporting and not reporting the spend, as it may fall just below the threshold. Data accuracy. Master data management, MDM, and data quality go hand in hand to ensure data accuracy. We shall talk a little bit more on this in our analysis phase, which is the next phase. Automatic reporting, of course. having centralized the data, you should expect the system to provide automated reporting based on your predefined parameters and formats. Then lastly, there is a need for an admin tool, a front end, preferably a web-based tool that will help the business have controls over the parameters such as the business rules and provide facility to validate and correct the data before the reports are submitted to the state and federal agencies. Now that you understand that what the system should do,